Church, and welcome to 2021. It's a new year, and it feels great, doesn't it? I guess it's still up in the air, but I'm glad to start this new year and start this new lesson with you this week, and I hope you would join me each day, and we're just going to have a great time. Last week, we were blessed by Sister Erica, and she taught us about your God-given purpose, and we're kind of going to piggyback on that, and we're going to talk about your God-given promise this week. And we're going to look at and stay in the tribe of Dan and see the tribe of Dan's promises and some of the struggles that they had and also their accomplishments. So this week, we're going to open up and let's just talk about Joshua. We know Joshua was the leader at that time, the leader after Moses. And just think with me for a second on the incredible things that Joshua experienced in his lifetime. He was called to lead the people into great battles and victories that God was going to give them. And they saw miraculous things. God would part the waters of the Jordan River that they would walk through and not get wet. They saw the walls of Jericho crumble and fall down at the instructions that God gave them. And they were being led by God, and each time that they would listen, there would just be victory after victory after victory. After so much time, Joshua he was aging. He was finding himself getting older. And he would look around at the tribes of Israel and he would see that they had accomplished so much. They had so many miracles, but they hadn't got their full promise from God yet. He would look around and he would see the tribes and they would become complacent in victory. And it's a dangerous place to be because you could say, well, God has given me so much. Now I could just relax and I could just rest. I don't really have to go after the full promise of God because you kind of get comfortable in a place. You get comfortable with success. You get comfortable with just the size church that you have. You get comfortable just because maybe your family's saved. But maybe you've been called to much more. And that was what Joshua and Israel were called. They were called to so much more. And you could hear the frustration in Joshua's voice when he assembled Israel together. And he said in Joshua 18, he said, "How long will you neglect to go and possess the land which the Lord God of your fathers has given you?" He was frustrated with the people. And in that question, he would inspire them to finally move on God's promise, to move on the full potential that they were given, that God had a whole purpose. He had a whole promise to give them, and it was time to inspire them to move and not to be complacent in success, not to just get, kind of lazy. We're not called to be lazy, but God has called us into a full promise. So as we continue on this week, we're going to be speaking about the promises that the tribe of Dan was to receive and what they did with that. And also we're going to think about in our own lives, the promises that we are to receive, the promises that the church is supposed to go after and to make sure that we're not being complacent in that. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember to come back here tomorrow again. Thank you.